Is Lifeline good in arenas, or does she kind of suck? What's up, y'all? My name is Wheaties. I'm a huge fan of the arenas game mode in Apex Legends. I love thinking about the meta in this game mode, dissecting it and figuring out what works and what doesn't. I especially love thinking about which legends work better than they do in BR, and which ones work worse. To that end, I want to talk about a really popular choice in arenas, Lifeline. I have a nice game here where we play against a Lifeline player, and we really pop off in damage just by making some questionable plays that you'll see. This Lifeline gets a lot of reses off, which is a huge part of why we're able to get so much damage, and I thought it'd be cool to talk about her as a legend. She's really popular in unranked and lower ranked levels, and she kind of falls off as you continue to rank up, or at least it seems that she falls off. Is that because she's bad? Is she secretly good and people just don't know? Should you be playing her, and should you be worried about her if she's on the other team? Hopefully, this helps you understand Lifeline's role in arenas a little bit more. So, to that end, let's get into the pros and cons of Lifeline. Starting with the pros, she can res teammates while she's still fighting. That's obviously a big deal. The hardest part about resing in arenas, and you probably notice this if you play arenas a lot, you don't often get the res off because normally if your teammate got knocked, it's either because they were in a bad position or you're currently getting pushed and there's just no time to get the res. Well, Lifeline usually can make time to get the res, assuming your teammate is close enough to her. You can pop over real quick, hit your ability, and just keep fighting and hopefully get that person back in the fight. If you successfully get a res off in the middle of a fight, it's a really big deal. Usually ends up being the deciding factor. Pro number two, you don't always need to buy a med kit. Her tactical is basically a free med kit every round. You get one of them for free. Obviously, you want to save that for when your teammates need it, but normally you're just going to be using it for yourself. You'll be running into a corner, popping a bat, popping your drone while you're at it, and healing up to full health a lot faster than anybody else on the map can. Number three, you can use her res to bait players. You'll see that a little bit later, and I'll try to point it out when it shows up, but the enemy Lifeline does a pretty good job of using the res to bait me out. Number four is obviously Lifeline gets the best value out of Gold Bag compared to any other legend. Even Newcastle really isn't getting the same value, and that's mainly because Newcastle has to stop fighting to res. So that's still a pretty big deal. And fifth pro and final one is she gets 8 extra cells from the blue pill. And that's pretty big, especially in the first round when you normally can't afford more than one bat if you get a bat at all. Getting those extra cells can make the difference, especially when the rounds go longer. In round one, a Lifeline will often buy a gold bag and an RE45. I think you can level it up once. That's a pretty strong weapon for first round in arenas. Now, going on to the cons, number one, you've pretty much got to be near your teammates when they fall. You noticed it earlier that the Lifeline was able to go down into mid and res that fuse, and that's why this round is still going on top of the fact that I made a really bad decision, jumped on fuse, and just kind of let him one-clip me. You saw that Lifeline get the res off on the fuse, but she had to leave her Bloodhound teammate to do it, which guaranteed that Bloodhound got knocked. Now Bloodhound eventually crawls over to the middle, and Lifeline reses them again, but it's still not an ideal situation to have. Basically, if you're Lifeline, you have to have your teammates near you, close enough to where you can res them almost instantly. At low levels, you might get away with what you just saw here. Honestly, most of the players in this lobby were silver, if I remember right. So they weren't really capitalizing on any of the downs as fast as they would if they were upper gold or plat players or even higher. So at low levels, you might be able to get these reses off. At higher levels, it's not happening. That fuse res, not happening at lower levels. The game's happening too fast for you to get that off. But in this game, especially in this round, you see there's a lot of times when Lifeline's able to get the res off because I can't afford to push her when I'm at low health. So second con, her ult is basically useless. It just takes too long to get it off. Most ults are useless in arena, so this isn't really a big deal, but if you can get it off, if I remember right, it gives you care package weapons, which that's pretty cool, and you can save a lot of mats for your team, but you don't get to choose the weapons, so that's also kind of a big deal. You could get weapons that just aren't right for the situation. So it kind of makes her ult normally useless, or at best a bit of a gamble. The third and the biggest deal, honestly, with Lifeline is that she has no ability to push. Her abilities are purely defensive. They don't create opportunities. They really just make up for your team's mistakes. If you have a teammate that is kind of ego challenging and they get knocked in a 1v1 behind cover, you can just run over to the cover real quick, res them. Doesn't matter that they challenge too hard. The mistake doesn't matter in that case. But that's pretty much it. And it doesn't work if your teammates are out of position. So like that fuse in the first round that wrapped around and ego challenged me, their Lifeline didn't have a good chance to res him because he was just way too far out of position. And I know we're talking about cons here, but I really want to point out what the Lifeline's doing in this round. She gets off a lot of reses and basically forces me into a position where I either over peak and get destroyed, or she successfully gets the res off and creates a 2v1. So that is one of the pros of Lifeline we were talking about earlier. So normally her abilities are pretty defensive and you don't always get a good chance to use them. So before we get into the final ruling on Lifeline, if you haven't already, I'd really appreciate it if you dropped a like. And if you like the content, please consider subscribing. I stream a few times a week on YouTube, and I'm working on setting a consistent streaming schedule as well as a consistent upload schedule. I'm still kind of trying to find what videos work and what I'm enjoying making the most. So stay tuned and see what happens. So what's the consensus? The problem isn't that Lifeline's bad. It's just that there are better options, and she relies too heavily on your teammates. Lifeline's pretty much fine until you hit upper gold, and she becomes kind of useless after that as players start moving faster and get better at capitalizing on your mistakes. If you're 3-stacking with people who don't get caught out of position very often, she's a good choice. If your teammates aren't getting caught out of position, then you're probably going to be able to get the res off. If your teammates are out of position, she just becomes useless. Her tactical is still fairly useful. It's nice to have a free med kit, but after a few rounds, it's not really saving you enough money to be worth it. So if you're climbing silver or even gold, great choice. Go for it. Play Lifeline as much as you want. Once you hit plat, it starts becoming more about what legends can create opportunities for you. That's why legends like Pathfinder are so popular, because his movement ability allows you to get into positions faster that you really shouldn't be able to get into normally. Same with Loba, Octane, and then offensive legends like Fuse with his knuckle cluster, or Ash with her snare, or even Newcastle with his shield. Legends that can create opportunities start to become more and more important, because as you rank up, it's less about amending your own mistakes and more about forcing your opponents into mistakes or really capitalizing on the small ones that they make. So offensive abilities start becoming more and more important, and Lifeline just doesn't have that. So if you're trying to get ahead in arenas and you're thinking about which legend's going to get you the most value, which legend's going to get you ahead the farthest, and you've been considering Lifeline, I hope this helps you figure that out a little bit. Maybe she's still the best choice for you. You can reach the highest ranks possible with whatever legend. The most important thing is you as a player, not your legend choice. But if you're getting a little frustrated and you feel like you're not getting enough value out of Lifeline, consider this and consider maybe switching to something a little more aggressive. So thanks again for tuning in. I'm going to let this game play out and let you see how it goes. Again, if you like this kind of content and you want to see a little more of it, please let me know in the comments what legend you would like me to do next, or maybe what weapon meta you would like me to discuss. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Alright, let's keep going. Oh my god. Look at all that damage. It's ridiculous. It's just because I ended up last on 2 rounds and they couldn't finish me off. And the friggin' Lifeline keeps rezzing.
There's someone here.
Don't do that. What the frick, guys?
Well done, legends. You live to fight another day.
It was pretty fun to watch.